In this week's Fixture Friday, we're borrowing a technique from knife makers so that we can turn round bars into rectangular parts 8 at a time. Now, for those of you that have followed this Fixture Friday series, thank you. Thank you for all the emails and positive comments on how much they've helped you. Now, if you think these videos could help a friend or coworker, would you consider sharing the series with them as well? We'll go ahead and put a link to the playlist in the description and a card at the end of this video. So, thanks again, and let's get started. So here's the part we're gonna take a look at today. It's made out of stainless steel and measures approximately 1/2 inch thick by 4.7 inches long by about 3/4 inches wide. Now you'll recognize it as one of the pads on the top of our Pro and Mini pallet systems. Now the interesting thing about this part is that it starts out from a round piece of material. And we used to make these out of rectangular material, but this grade of stainless was getting harder and harder to find in a flat bar size. Oddly enough, round bar is readily available. Now for the first operation, we hold these parts 2 at a time in a double vise so that we can face it, rough the perimeter, add a chamfer, and drill a series of holes. Now these 2 holes are simply used for pins that we use to locate on our pallet for the second operation. Now since it's our design and no one sees them once they're assembled, we have the luxury of adding these solely to help out with machining the second operation. Now these 3 other holes are used obviously to assemble them, but also we use these 2 outside ones to bolt down to the pallet. We call this the bolt-through method. This method is really popular with knife makers. Now what knife makers do is they machine all the interior aspects of a knife handle along with threading some holes, and then they bolt this down through the bottom of the pallet to have full access to the face and the perimeter of the handle with perfect flatness. Now the total machining time for this pallet is 14 minutes 56 seconds. And remember, we use this time for the operator to run an adjacent machine to run the quick first op, plus swap parts on the second identical pallet to get ready for that quick pallet change at the end of the cycle. So this pallet looks fairly simple on the surface, but let me talk about a few things that you'll need to know when designing and programming it. When you're holding the parts down using the bolt-through method, you run the risk of hitting some of the locking components on the bottom side of the pallet. You have to watch out for the pads, the lock rings, and the sets of pins. Now, if you go to our website, you can download a solid model of our pallets. We offer this download in the 8 by 12 inch size, but you can easily extrude the sides to whatever pallet size you end up purchasing. And once you have your pallet size, you can start laying out the part pattern. And at this point, the only thing you need to make sure of is that you don't break into any of the pocketed areas on the bottom of the pallet. Now, these areas in the model represent the locations of the locking hardware plus a little extra clearance. Now, once you have your patterns safely laid out, there's one more feature you'll want to add. In Fixture Friday number 4, I talked about the best places to put origins. Well, for this pallet, we established the origin by going off the round pin for XY0 and the top of a pad for the Z0. But to make things easier, we've machined a triad in this corner. This just gives us an easy surface to probe without having to take off the pallet, and also to verify accuracy between 2 pallets to ensure they were machined correctly. So once we've machined the top of this pallet, we can flip it over in a vise and pick up one of the holes to add counterbores so our socket cap screws sit flush with the bottom of the pallet. Okay, our pallets are ready to go, so let's load a part. Simply place the part on the pallet, flip it on its side, and bolt it down. Once we've loaded all 8, goes right into the machine, cycle start, and we're making parts. So until next week's Fixture Friday, go innovate your production.